So, tell me what we're going to talk about today.
Today on Keepin the Geek Bros, episode 99.6, we've got the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics game review, No Man's Sky coming to Xbox Pass in June, the Not E3 2020 press conference schedule, BLIZZCON Cancels Its 2020 event, Google Arts app now turns your selfies into famous masterpieces, Star Wars New Era of Storytelling has been delayed, Skyrim Grandma is taking a break because of internet assholes, Disney World sets reopening date, have you heard of spite porn? Question of the day, is our fascination with Canon killing the way we value stories? SqueezyBits Picks, Robert Downey Jr. drops Marvel for DC in Netflix show Sweet Tooth, and Crayola unveils new packs of crayons to reflect world skin tones. All this and more in this week's episode of Keepin the Geek Bros, a family podcast. Allegedly. Stay tuned.
In a world where geeking out never looked so good, two incredibly sexy men will rise for your auditory pleasure. Here's your hosts, keeping up with the Geek Bros.
Yes. Keepin the Geek Bros podcast. I'm your host, Vibe. With me are my fellow co-hosts,
Garbanzo.
And Roz.
Yes. So since Starflex is currently not in the building, Garbanzo, can you tell these fine people where to find us on social media?
Now, I'm going to try to do it justice because, he is the master at this.
He pioneered it.
But you can actually find the Geek Bros on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Geek Bros with a 0. That is GEEKBR0S. Also, send us emails, requests, complaints.
Complaints.
How is your quarantine going?
Yeah.
Are you in South Florida? Did you survive the mini flood of 2020? What's going on? Are you in? You know what? I'll even throw a little fire into a little gasoline in the fire for those people out there. He goes, "Are you safe in Milwaukee?" Shoot us an email.
All right. I don't.
Oh, at geekbros@yahoo.com. It's GEEKBROS 0S at yahoo.com. Also, you always can find us on the first place.
The first place.
Oh, that's actually just kind of fun. All right, at weebgeekspc.com. And also, you can come see these beautiful concoctions of café con leche. Egyptian cinnamon is actually not in the picture right now. Milk chocolate.
Moroccan mint tea.
And Moroccan mint tea.
Mint.
Jesus, that's actually, that sounds really good. I'm not going to lie to you.
It does sound good. And that's at
youtube.com/VibeRev Studios. That's VIBEREVStudios.
For now. All right, before we get to today's topics, comments and questions from you, the audience. Now, I have been lazy, and I haven't been getting all the screenshots for you guys, but I do have two. For our Facebook, of course, that's facebook.com/geekbros with a 0, GEKB or 0S. We have a man grew up without a father makes YouTube channel to help kids with no dad. And Manny May said cool. And she also said, where do I get the bobblehead action figures? And that's actually a comment she did recently on the debut of our 3 new Geek Bros caricatures. Now that I think about it, those would make really good bobbleheads.
Yeah.
If there's anybody out there that knows custom bobblehead makers, I would absolutely be interested in purchasing some bobbleheads of those, at least for the Geek Bros.
For sure, that'd be awesome.
That would be a cool pick for us to be up there with our bobbleheads. So that's a good idea, Manny Means. So we're gonna check. Oh yeah, Roz just sent the link. Sorry guys. Every time the Geek Bros type in the chat in Skype, I don't know if you know, it pops up in blue. So it tells you, that's why we react to random things. So with that being said, let us move on to gents. Anything to report?
From my end, there's not much to report, sadly. The baby bean, the bouncing boy, is growing steadily, and we got the crib up. We just started working on the baby's room in the nursery, and it's exciting. We're working on themes. Right now we're not working on themes. We're actually gonna have our theme is gonna be Finding Nemo. So I figured I'd transition into Star Wars once he becomes like 1 or 2, and it's because I don't want a nursery like all grays and blacks and things like that. That's
I was
not
gonna
what
say,
I
well, I mean, the nursery I saw was like you having a stormtrooper blasting toward the crib, and Darth Vader like aiming his lightsaber toward the crib, kind of like that. That's what I had seen when I pictured
Yeah.
your baby room.
Yeah, we're
Like
gonna go light, bright, and beautiful, and allow
light,
him
bright,
to.
beautiful.
We're gonna allow him to
Finding
choose.
Nemo starts with the death of Nemo's mom and all his other siblings. So I just want to throw that out there. And
Yeah,
it
but
is a traumatizing event for a little kid being taken away by their from their parents into
yeah,
a cruel world.
but
Very
but at
colorful
the
movie though. Very colorful movie.
but at the end, it all works out. It's just keep on swimming, just like
Look at Ross's face. Stop it. What all works out?
Hey, listen, we can
I
sit here-
never
listen,
really liked Mom anyway.
Oh my God! Stop it! Stop! Well, hold on. No, I guess it goes to that phrase. You can't miss what you don't know or what you never knew. So
Yeah.
he never knew his mom, so he can't miss his mom. He only knew his dad.
It's not as bad as Bambi. Bambi actually knew his mother.
True. Very true.
Okay.
There's a dark history in Disney now that I think about it.
You can't. There's always death in Disney movies. That it is you can appreciate life because of that. You can't have yin without the yang. It's about balance.
I don't know.
I can. We can have a whole dissertation about it one day. I
Oh,
promise.
good.
But trust me, don't get me started on this because we don't have that much time tonight.
I didn't know that there was something else other than Galaxy's Edge that had you riled up. Oh, and Last Jedi. This is interesting. This is non-Star Wars related. We got to do a special on this. Roz, anything to report?
Nothing spectacular, just the endless flooding that we've had in South Florida.
My God.
It's been obscene. I've been playing a lot of Nier, Gears of War Tactics. The new Minecraft Dungeons game, I tried it out. It was fun. It's a cute little game. If you like Diablo. But I mean, outside of that, no, nothing exciting.
All right. Well, for me, basically, I've been watching The Man in the High Castle. I don't know why at first, but now I like it because it's like a creeping sci-fi show. That's what I call it, a slow drip sci-fi show. I thought it was just political intrigue and just an alternate reality, but it literally is an alternate reality show, and I thought it's really, really cool. So I'm liking where it's going. I'm actually binge watching them in season 4, and it's just it's like every season they're doubling down more on the sci-fi aspect of it, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I still don't know why they call it The Man in the High Castle when he is such a, I mean, he's an important MacGuffin, I would say, more so than a character. So they could have called it something else because I thought he was like a central character.
They couldn't. It was based on a novella by Philip K. Dick.
But did Philip K. Dick actually give The Man in the High Castle an actual like point besides being a?
No, it was a novella.
It
was. They have greatly expanded on what it was. It wasn't a full novel. It was a novella, which is very short story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
a lot of Philip K. Dick short stories and novels that have been adapted have been like way expanded on.
Really?
So it's kind of like the way those kind of science fiction, cyberpunk style movies end up being anyway.
I like what I see. So I actually intend on doing a review either for the Geek Bros or for the podcast after I'm done watching it because I think it deserves some discussion. And now that I know that Roz has seen it, that's fantastic. I got some.
I mean, if you want, I think I have the novel somewhere in my house. It's like 200 pages long, so you could probably bang through it.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome. That'd be absolutely awesome. But we'll get into that into the future. So, what's going on with the Geek Bros? Nothing new. We got video recaps going up. Don't ask me about The Witcher. I haven't touched it. I'm so miserable with it right now. I have one trick up my sleeve that I heard from a forum that might work, and I'm gonna try it. And if not, I will. I listen. I mean, I read, but I listen. So what I'll do is I'll borrow the book and I'll scan it into like one of those text to speech docs, and that's it. I'll make my own audiobook. That's right. That's right. I'm gonna rig it for myself. Anyway, so Geek Bros. So yeah, we're still pretty much under the thumb of the quarantine. So what I may do is, if I have to, post little excerpts of the review onto YouTube, and then of course, put it up on Patreon, and I'll put it at the lowest tier so you guys can watch it, or 0 tier, just so it's up there, because YouTube is driving me nuts. And on that case, if this is your first time listening to our broadcast, then please take a moment to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. If you're watching us, then don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. YouTube is kicking my ass with this algorithm. It's killing us with reach. It's killing us with recommendations. It's killing me with uploads that are anything remotely close to anything more than just a podcast of dudes talking and having a good time. So please subscribe, comment, and get us back up there so I can have some skin in the game. So without further ado, episode 99.6 starts now. The coronavirus update. The South Florida beaches are opening up, sorta. Walking, jogging only, facial covering required. Gents, now that we know that this is fact, minus the whole fact that we're being rained out, which is the weirdest thing consistently.
Actually, I don't think face coverings is required everywhere. There's actually on most areas there, if you are exercising, you are not required to wear face coverings.
Because that's slightly dangerous. But I guess they mean like if you're just hanging out, because it's for walking. It's kind of walking on the beach. There is no sunbathing, none of that stuff there. So any of you gents gonna hit the beach now that the beach is semi-open?
No.
Really?
No.
Not at all.
Have you fucking seen the beach? It's like people are insane.
Well, they're not allowed to congregate, and there's people out there to enforce social distancing.
They're not allowed
exactly.
Dude, it doesn't. Okay, bro, listen. They're also not allowed to bring guns in private areas. They're also not allowed to loot and riot. They're also not allowed to have glass on the beach.
Did you guys see the pictures?
Common things on the beach is glass. And
which
it's not allowed, and they can't police that. You think police people just staying close together?
No, they won't.
They were doing a really good job. The last video I sent you guys, and they were like,
because everybody was supposed to not be on the beaches. Now it's like, hey, come to the beaches, but behave yourself. Like I was gonna say, did you see the pictures from the Lake of the Ozark just a few days ago, where it was an entire pool party with like 1,000 people, ass to ass? Nobody gives a shit.
No, a perfect example is that there was another, like it was a week
ago.
Like a week ago, there was a big, massive block party over in Orlando.
Yeah.
When they started opening things up, there was thousands of people. Thousands.
Can I ask you a question? But what do you expect? I mean, it's like people are pent up, and you give them just the inkling of fresh air, and then they kind of jump out there.
I expect people to behave like adults and say, hey, maybe there's still an active pandemic. Maybe we should be, I don't know, maybe a little careful. Look out for ourselves and our fellow fucking man. But no.
No, bro.
I guess.
Sebastian said it best in The Little Mermaid. Teenagers, you give them an inch, they swim all over you. That's it. It's the same shit.
If it was teenagers, I'd agree with you. But these are grown-ass adults.
But that's what I'm saying. They're acting like kids.
I guess I can see where you guys are coming from.
Listen, there are no. Sorry. I hate to cut you off, but my biggest thing is that this is not that difficult. It's very slim, basic stuff. It's just having common courtesy. Whether or not you think that this is going on and this is real or whatever it is, and there's people out there who think this is all just a big hoax and all whatever it is, and that's fine. But the fact is that it's like these laws are put in place to protect some individuals, not just everybody. For the majority of individuals, people who cannot take care of themselves. So you know what? Have a little courtesy for those individuals who cannot take care of themselves, who are unable to do that. So
what happened to the old proverb, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few?
Nobody ever gave a shit about that, sadly.
I, however, do intend to visit the beach. I will be visiting the beach. I'm curious. I want to see what's going on out there. I will not be hugged up on anybody, but I am gonna venture out there because I want to see if they're doing banana biking. That's why.
Yeah, and I also want to say the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few. You're implying that this is a necessity. Nobody needs to be doing half of the shit they're doing.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. That is true. the wants of the many outweigh the wants of the few. I don't know.
Then that's definitely not true.
Okay. Well, no. Well, whatever. No, the wants of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That's the phrase. I finally figured it out. All right, whatever. But yeah,
I will. 300 years of history in this country talking about the wants of the many outweighing the needs of the few.
That's true. That's true. I mean, listen. If nothing, we are not human.
Are not students of history.
No, they are with that too. But they're we are creatures of consistency, and you gotta at least appreciate the finer points of that. We are consistent in our ridiculousness. But again, I will be going to the beach, and I will be reporting on it next week because I'm curious, as long as the weather isn't rained out, and go from there. So if anybody else is gonna be risking it and getting out there just to see what's happening, of course being responsible and respectful, shoot me don't meet me out there. I mean, shoot me an email and. Let's see what your experience are. I'm curious to see what happens. So we're gonna move on to Fresh Scent.
Fresh Scent.
What's new in the gaming world? The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics game review. Now, the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics, it's build your own team, devise winning strategies to lead a fledgling resistance of Gelfling against their oppressive overlords, the Skeksis, across more than 50 unique turn-based tactics RPG battles. I'm laughing because when I was speaking to one of my friends, and she was asking me what else can she watch on Netflix, and I said the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, because she actually used to love the Dark Crystal movie, much like Darflex did. So I told her watch it. She couldn't get past one episode because the puppets freaked her out. I said, you've got to get past it. The story is good. Eventually your mind will just click and it'll be fine. I said, it was drawing for me too, but after a while you forget that they're puppets. You see them as real characters. She said, no, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. So in the, even though I have a lot of space, my kids are under my arms. So my oldest heard me discussing this and said, Dad, are you talking about the Dark Crystals? I was like, yeah. He's like, what do you know about it? He's like, I don't know. I just read some Nintendo article about the game on Switch. I said, excuse me? Repeat that? He said, yeah, the game on Switch. I read it in one of the Nintendo articles. Looked it up, sent you guys a link. Of course, Ross is like, yeah, I know about that. I hate Ross. So I download it. I get into that game. I'm ready. And that's our
dog shit.
So the graphics are fine. The story, basically, you're really playing like a truncated version of the Netflix show. Very truncated, actually, because I believe if you didn't watch the show, you really wouldn't get much of what's going on. It's not even the Cliff Notes version. It's the Cliff Notes of Cliff Notes version. So I actually, now to the point, I skipped all the text. Now whenever text come up, I hit the skip button. The gameplay is mediocre at best. I don't know. I'm just so, it's beyond underwhelming. It's not disappointing because I didn't have any expectations. But I expected, as a companion or to the show, one, I hoped they were telling us a different story. That's what I was really hoping for. And two, if they weren't going to it, they're going to still make it compelling. The game is boring, and it does not do the Netflix show justice. If I can never recommend this game to anybody that watched the show unless you are really, 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 really into the bare bones of what a tactics game is. And I mean just bare bones. When I say that you're just really playing 50, and I want to take out unique, 50 turn-based tactics screens. It's all pretty much the same thing, except maybe you walk on top of something, or maybe there's 3 levels, or maybe you're pushing somebody into some kind of pit. The game is boring. I am playing it. It is $20 on the Switch store or Nintendo store. What is it called? Nintendo store? Is there a name for it? It's just called Nintendo store. Nintendo store. So
the store that Nintendo built.
Exactly. And it's quite disappointing. Roz, did you play it, or you just kind of saw the gameplay and you were just like, eh?
No, I unfortunately played some of it.
Did you? So. Yeah. I mean, you want to throw anything else in there that I might have missed?
It's just not a good game. Who's I'm trying to find out who the producers of this game were. Game Freak?
No, I don't know. I'm just throwing.
Oh no, because I was gonna say, man, no, it'd probably be good. but yeah, I don't know who made the actual game, but it's genuinely an inferior version of any of these late, tactics game like Gears of War Tactics or XCOM, et cetera, et cetera.
Would you consider it like a cash grab to try
of course
and cash in on the popularity of it?
This is a classic movie / TV tie-in game.
Yes.
Like the old Shrek games or the Lord of the Ring games before the good ones started coming out.
The infamous what was it called? The Alien one?
Alien versus Predator?
No, the infamous. It's a Steven Spielberg movie. What is it called? E.T.
E.T. Like the infamous the finest video game ever produced.
Exactly. It's along the lines of that. It's really poor. Compared to what's available right now, what could be, and if they actually just took the time, it's clear they found the laziest way to get this out as quickly as they can to cash in on what goodwill was left. And to be honest with you, if you're gonna put out something this mediocre, it's too late, because nobody's talking about Dark Crystal anymore except for maybe me. So yeah, it's terrible. Not terrible. No, it's really boring. It's boring. But I will continue to play it, and I will give you guys another review once I'm done playing it, because I will finish this. Because what? They'll give another review.
I don't think we need a follow up on that.
What if it somehow you don't know. I have faith. Listen, I love me some Dark Crystal, so I'm hoping that maybe it'll surprise me. Okay, I'm not looking for Nier Automata, but I am looking for, I don't know, Pokemon Red and Blue. Who knows? All right, so moving on. Hey, have I convinced you to play it? Have I convinced you to play it at all, Garbanzo?
Not one. I mean, if anything, you have convinced me that I don't need that in my life.
Oops. No, because it's funny, because we have turned on some of our audience to Love, Death, Robots. We have turned on a lot of our audience, Mr. Roz, to Nier Automata. I'm not joking. I'm getting personal messages about how they're playing this game.
Because it's good. Because it's good.
It's good.
Yeah. And your reaction has been overly positive for those things.
Exactly.
This has been middling, to say the least.
No, of course, but I think that we do have a little influence here with our audience, because I've gotten many thank yous about Love, Death, Robots, and especially Nier Automata lately. That's really great. So I actually have to forward you some of the praises of you, Mr. Roz, for your coverage on Nier Automata. But moving forward, No Man's Sky, ladies and gentlemen. The Phoenix that it is coming to Xbox Game Pass in June. This article comes from Eurogamer.net. There's not much that needs to be said about it. The simple fact is that this game had one of the most infamous starts in gaming history. It was destroyed, and I used to love watching the hate videos on YouTube about it, calling the lead designer Sean Murray a liar, and then all this stuff, and comparing what the game was to what it is, and how it rose to be something spectacular, and is a testament to what companies should do when they drop out inferior games, as opposed to paid DLC or walking back or even doubling down. They just got back to work and made it better and better and better. So as I saw the rags to riches story of this, I've always been curious about playing the game, but not enough to buy the game, But if I ever got a chance to go over somebody's house who has it, or play some kind of free one. So when I saw that No Man's Sky is coming to Xbox Game Pass, Xbox, which is now ruling my life, I got thrilled to death. And so I had to send you guys that link. And yes, I will be playing this game. And I don't know if it's multiplayer yet, but if it is,
it is. It's been multiplayer for a couple of years now.
Really? See, now there is that. I need the Geek Bros, all we Xboxers. We gotta get on this.
I didn't realize something. This is the game where Roz, that's the video that the guy building all these all the mining equipment, and he's just mining over and over again, just like these long, super long.
Honestly, man, you just described like 6 or 7 different games.
Yeah, I'm thinking Minecraft as I'm listening to you.
And then the guy just but he actually goes and he just spends hours and hours and hours to create this obscene, like overly complicated kind of situation, just to kind of cause chaos.
No.
I don't know.
No, that's not it at all. The game is it's a space exploration, and just an exploration in general game, because
You've
you
never
fly
heard
between planets, you land on the planets, you mine for materials, you build stuff up, become better at doing that. You try to follow the kind of thin storyline towards a final conclusion. It's a good game. It really is.
Did they change the final ending of No Man's Sky, or still the same garbage?
Ending isn't the point of the game, if that makes sense. Oh no!
No, I get it. I get it. It's just the way you said it.
Honest.
It's just it's not the destination, is the journey. I got you. I got you.
I don't think they were ever concerned with making the ending poignant in any way.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, I would like us to consider as a group just getting on it for a couple of days.
I got like 150 hours in that game, so I'll happily play.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm down.
Well, but let's get on it. It's free. It's on the Game Pass. The lovely Game Pass, and I think we'll check it out. So maybe we can we what's it called? Twitter. What's it called?
Stream.
What is it called though? It's called something.
Mixer.
Mixer. Maybe we can mixer it. Maybe.
Sure, just like we did Diablo. Remember that?
Yeah.
That one time.
Did we mixer? Did we actually mixer it?
One time.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was fun. And do we need to go? Which mixer did it go on though? Yours, Roz, or ours?
Yeah, it wasn't mine.
Oh, see, that's cool. That's cool. Is the video up there? Can I see it?
I'm sure I could find it, but I don't know if you remember. You were kind of like AFK for most of that.
Was I? Oh, I think I was talking to some girl. All right. With that being said, we're moving on to. Here's the Not E3 2020 press conference schedule. This article comes from Kotaku.com. So you want the full version? I'm just going to run through the tabs. We're not going to actually, discuss much about it. But if you want to see the full article, again, it's Kotaku.com/here's not the 2020, E3 conference. So, Summer Game Fest, May 12th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, is coming out. So that's going to be, these are all going to be online, of course. There's a Wholesome Direct, May 26th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. IGN Expo, June 5th, to be announced. Guerrilla Collective, June 6th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. PC Gaming Show, June 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Steam Game Festival, June 9th through the 14th. CD Projekt Red, Night City Ware, June 11th, to be announced. EA Play Live 2020, June 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah.
Day of the Devs, June 22nd at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Sega New Game Plus Expo, June 23rd at 11 a.m. Ubisoft Forward, July 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Microsoft Xbox 2020, July, to be announced. So here's the thing. You guys already know, if you've been listening to us for, 100 plus episodes, we used to take a full episode and break down these particular cons and these events and stuff. I don't think this is going to happen this time. It's just so spread out that I don't think it's going to happen. But maybe if I have the time and the wherewithal to gather just the nuggets of each one, we can do maybe one massive one at the end of the summer. Maybe. Don't quote me on that though. Is there anything that I announced that you guys are interested in?
I mean, the reason that they're doing this is since there's no E3, everybody is going out of their way to do their big press announcements out of the way of everyone else. Instead of having all the announcements come out over the same 3 days and everyone drowning each other out with their respective announcements, they got together behind the scenes and said, hey, look, these are the dates we're going to do this. So everybody moved on and found their own release date for their press releases. Yep. I think honestly, the best thing to do would just, as the weeks go by, just cover whatever came out that previous week.
There's an idea.
It won't be overwhelming.
Good point, because it is niche ones. But is this good for the gaming community? You think so? Why, Mr. Ross?
Because E3 has become. I think we talked about it. E3 doesn't really, push gaming news the way it used to. It's all about whose voice is the loudest. So all these independent studios kind of just fall by the wayside. So this gives a chance for smaller studios or projects that don't have huge banner names behind them, like Electronic Arts, Activision, Bethesda, Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo, to actually have a platform. Oh, hey, look, these studio is doing that this day. Nobody else is going to be announcing anything that day. Cool, go for it.
Exactly.
I
agree 100%. Yeah.
I agree. Well, so yeah, I guess that's what you can look forward to us doing micro coverages as long as these things pop up. I'll probably have to save these. We already missed one or two. No, we missed one. We have the 26th coming up. Wait, so that's no, we missed two. We missed two. We missed Wholesome Direct. We missed Summer Game Fest, which is funny because I didn't hear about that. But I'll look them up and maybe we'll put this in video game news. This will last us several weeks. So look forward to that as not E3 2020 coverage begins next week.
Just so you know, the Summer Games Fest goes on the entire summer.
Oh, it does?
That's just the name of it.
That's awesome.
Oh, so that starts on the 12th.
Jeff Keighley, the guy that does the video game awards, that's his thing. So he's basically spread out everybody that doesn't have like their own big standalone press conference, like the ones I listed or the ones that you read off, is going to be using the Summer Games Fest as their platform.
So that's going to be the groundwork for another E3 then, because isn't that what E3 was at the beginning?
Less so, because this isn't really going to have the massive players
for right now.
I don't see them. I think they've become very comfortable going their own way. I mean, you see Microsoft does their own, Sony does their own, Nintendo does their own, EA does their own, Bethesda does their own. It's shit. Like, if you're big, you do your own press conference now.
Well, yeah, so
E3 was dying. So.
Yeah. So RIP E3. We lost you too soon. With that being said, we're actually moving on to BlizzCon cancels its 2020 event and looks to early 2021 for virtual meeting. #gaming news. This article comes from redcarpetreporttv.com. Today, Blizzard announced via BC website that the annual BlizzCon gathering will not happen in 2020. Instead, the company will be making plans for a virtual event to take place in 2021. Early 2021. So, how do you guys feel about that? We just lost BlizzCon.
I mean, I wasn't expecting any cons to happen this year. I'm still expecting for Celebration to be postponed until next year. So, I mean, we'll see.
Listen, that's heresy. Please don't. Until we get word, because I'm still trying to, even if it's to an empty crowd and just doing it via web, to be in California, hosting a live panel to everybody watching us, 6 feet apart. Please. Because we had so much fun in Chicago. I need this in my life. This is what I'm waiting for. But so BlizzCon is gone. Do you think that, and I only bring this up because a lot of companies are seeing the benefit in just keeping people home, period, regardless of the coronavirus, that they're transitioning to virtual workplaces. A lot of places don't seem, they don't need people to come back, or won't come back. They'll keep them at home. Do you think that the gaming community will see the benefit in hosting these events virtually and remotely, and then we may not have the large gatherings, renting space, renting security, all that extra expense, when you can just literally do some high budget stuff and throw it up there on the web? What do you think?
I mean, overall, I don't think it's a horrible, but I mean, it also opens it up for a lot more people. Because the fans, they can actually charge, if they still want to charge something, they can still charge like a minimal fee for like basically what the equivalent of Hall H, and instead of just having 350 people or maybe 1,000 people like they had over in Chicago, they can have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people watching, and imagine the amount of money they could make. So instead of charging $300 for a ticket, they charge 15 or $20. Now they're also increasing their revenue per event. So say I want to go and I want to pay $300 and I get access to all the tickets and all things. I guaranteed seat, guaranteed access to any and all of the special events, right? Now on the other hand, I only want to go to one event here, one event there. I can cherry pick and I get paid a surcharge of $30, 25, whatever it is. And they're making money hand over fist because they're not limited to the amount of people that are allowed to go in.
Are we not concerned about the potential loss of the communal experience for gamers? I mean, part of the, I want to say part of the joy of participating in these events is to be around people, like-minded people, meet new people. I can't imagine, doing a virtual Star Wars celebration as opposed to what we experience in both. Well, for me personally, in Orlando and Chicago, versus sitting on my computer and kind of zooming it out. Are we concerned at all about the loss of the communal experience?
It's gonna come back.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's an interesting question, but we'll see how it happens because I mean, Evo, which is the big fighting game championship that happens every year, that's going digital this year,
Right.
and if it does really well, who knows if it'll ever come back to being an in-place, in-crowd situation. But conventions, they're definitely coming back because, you know, it's not so much about the audience, the convention holders and the attendees and the, you know, the speakers and whatnot. They're all about making money. The Michael Winslows of the world, the basically all the B and C and D tier, you know, artists. Cons are huge for them. That is a major revenue stream for them.
Right.
So it is in their interest to keep cons going. So you're going to see probably next year a lot of these like lower level celebrities pushing for conventions to come back as soon as possible. Let alone the audience. The audience is for sure going to want. Everybody wants to go. Yeah, everybody wants to go shake hands with their, you know, favorite wrestler or whatever. So
and I bet you there's gonna the next big convention is especially if it's my Repop, they're gonna have some celebrities that you never considered they would ever be going. Why? Besides the fact is that they have been living off residual checks for the last few months, but it's also a way to keep their name live and current. Mm-hmm. So you know what? I'm looking forward to it when it happens, and it will be done safely. Either way, I will be wearing a filtered Stormtrooper helmet.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so we're gonna move on to Gadgets R Us. Google's art app now turns your selfies into famous masterpieces. And now this one hurts me particularly because I have a story to tell. In what promises to be this article comes from Gizmodo.com. There we go. In what promises to be an excellent way to kill 10 minutes, the Google Arts and Culture app has been updated with new art transfer feature that will apply the look of countless famous paintings and artists to your own photos using a machine learning techniques. Now I'm actually looking at it as basically a picture of a dog is turned into many different works of art, and one of them was I forget what it's called, but it was Obama's change poster. I saw a version of that for the dog. And here's the thing, I told this story before where my son was running for secretary or vice president or something like that, and he wanted me to design posters. I'm not a Photoshop guy, but I figured it out. I Googled it and I YouTubed it, and I was able to basically take my cell phone, I slicked his hair back, I threw him in front of the backdrop, put on the studio lights, took 3 or 4 photos, transferred the photo over, and then meticulously changed that picture into a really good replica of Obama's change poster. And it's probably one of the greatest things I've ever accomplished because it just came out so well by step. And now this app can literally just press the button and it'll change it. I'm just like, oh my god, all that work. Any of you interested in this particular thing? I mean, it's kind of cool.
I be honest, I'm not at all interested.
I am, because I have to do our photos for social media, and I've been looking for a way to differentiate our photos from the other productions that I do, and I need a quicker way than having to Photoshop all our photos.
No, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, that sounds awesome. But I saw it personally.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Spent 15 minutes on it, and then I haven't really looked at it again.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, but I think it's something I'm really interested in, especially as I'm trying to further diversify what my productions look like. And definitely, I think the Geek Bros can maybe utilize this just for the photos. I think it'll be fun. Shut up. I want to try it. See what happens. And if it doesn't work. I will never do it again. So, but you guys should check it out. It looks cool.
I can see it now. Garbanzo and it's Van Gogh's Starry Night.
Exactly. Could you imagine? I think
that's his. If it's back, no. Okay, whatever.
Look forward to future thumbnails and or Instagram posts. That we take pictures of beforehand, and in beautifully inspired portraits of many different artists from Google Arts and Culture app. Look forward to that. So we're gonna move on to question of the day. Now this article comes from what was it?
Gizmodo.
Gizmodo.com, and I'm not really reading the article. It has nothing to do with that. It's a question that I'm posing. Is our fascination with Canon, is it killing the way we value stories? Now, I've heard this article, I've heard this argument before regarding how Canon for certain movie franchise, certain stories, certain lores stifle the creative process of future storytellers and storytelling, because then they are confined to what came before, and then of course have to be, especially if they're in a corporate mechanism, they are stifled what they can project to the future, because whatever they write then has to then be adhered to in the future, kind of thing. And I understand that, but I absolutely disagree when it comes to killing that. Our fascination with canon is killing stories, because canon and lore means something to me. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about this. Do you think canon, especially fandom and their rigidity with canon, this goes with Star Wars, this goes with Star Trek, this goes with Doctor Who, Doctor Who a lot lately, from what I heard. What do you guys think about canon, and whether or not we as fans are spoiled man babies for expecting the creatives to respect it?
Garbanzo, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So here's when it comes to canon, there's two ways of looking at it. Whether it's the holy symbol, and it's like disgracing a cross in a Catholic church. There's other individuals who are a little bit more understanding and get that sometimes stories change, society changes, and things have to continue going, to adjust. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. Like, I love the canon. I love canon because it kind of gives it substance for me. But for me, it's like, if there's a reasonable explanation for it, all right, fine. Like, it.
Well, what do you mean by that? I mean, because when you break
Okay.
canon, you're not explaining away why you broke canon. You're just breaking canon, kind of thing.
Okay, but here's the thing. That's the thing, is it's. I'll give you a perfect example. Breaking canon. Treating a character one way for the majority of the time the character's been alive, then towards the end, changing his whole character, and then not explaining why.
Me and you personally discussed we weren't going to talk about Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi anymore. We weren't talking about this anymore. So why are you bringing this up?
I wasn't even.
I know. Just asking you.
I wasn't even bringing that up. But my point, what I'm trying to say is that as long as there's a way to bridge the two and explain it one way or the other, or even, I mean, retconning happens all the time. It's just part of storytelling. Sometimes stories just become better that way. If things evolve, things change. Some people are scared of change. Personally, I no longer, I have what I believe is canon, and I go from there, and that's it. It's not that big of a deal. It's
so each their own. So we should all have our own head canon, is what you're saying.
If that's what makes you happy at the end of the day, then who am I to take that away from you?
So then I can take The Last Jedi and say it's no longer canon then, yes.
Sure.
Go straight to Rise of Skywalker.
And I can also say that that a lot of things that
look at Roz.
Father.
Roz, stop again. Roz, you're up.
Honestly, man. What was the last media, I guess, story amalgamation that you have experienced that hasn't shat all over canon? So what does it matter? Star Trek, fucking Discovery completely threw away all canon. Star Wars, what's canon? Yeah, I don't need to go any further. It doesn't mean anything.
Who's that? Who is that?
I don't know. It was weird.
Wait, who was that? I'm sorry, guys. We just got a message from...
That's SqueezyBits.
Oh, get in there. All right, SqueezyBits will be joining us. I can't wait to... Tell him to get in. Yeah. Okay, so SqueezyBits is jumping in. See, that's what happens when we're recording and people start messaging us. But great, I can get SqueezyBits' thing. Tell him to hurry up. I want to get him on. I want to ask him this question. You see, and I get the... But you see, Roz, your response is kind of like a defeatist attitude, kind of in my way, like, and I don't know. I
see what you're saying, and when I say it doesn't matter, I'm being glib.
Of course,
it's not so much that it doesn't matter. It's just, does canon matter, and are we shitting on our properties by insisting that stories stick to canon? I think not. I think canon matters because.
That's what I want to hear. Yes.
It absolutely sets a thread that you can follow from the inception of a story to the end. I agree. That said, sometimes, like Gabronza said, some canon stories gotta go. Some are problematic. Some were written in the 60s when racism was kind of okay, so you gotta get rid of it.
No, of course.
But, updating a story to, jive with the current times is not the same as completely throwing away 30 or 40 years of character development.
I agree.
Than having somebody die, after being a hologram on a salty planet.
That is. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I agree. Yep. I think that any, not to say that I'm a professional writer. I used to fancy myself as a creative writer, just off the side, doing my own thing, and I used to have to write with my brother at the time. We co-wrote a few unpublished books together called Scorn. It was a 3-volume series that we turned into a really, really mediocre web series that, when I first started the studio. And also we were doing animations, and we were adapting one of his stories called High School Days, DAYS, into High School Days, DAZE. And writing with him and trying to fit, because it was supposed to be a sequel to his story, but having to write a sequel to his story that nobody ever read was hard. And so I had to somehow both honor his canon, his storylines, and still refer to the past, in a way that the audience could understand. Do I think we succeeded? No. But it was still an interesting animated show from Go Animate. But
it's a challenge, and that's the thing. It's like
a challenge. But any good writer, and I'm not a great writer. I'm not even a good writer. I'm average at best. Any good writer, especially if you're paid for it and you're professional, should be able to work with the limitations and still be able to craft a meaningful story. You can still probably tell the same story or convey the same message or the same themes, but while fitting it into the established canon. Or else, why are you writing for this property if you can't do it? And with that said, okay, good. SqueezyBits.
Hey, what's up?
Listen, we are on the question of the day, and the question is, I want to get your turns before we move on to your segment. Actually,
oh damn.
Yeah, is our fascination with canon killing the way we value stories? In other words, is the fandom's community consistently, being rigid with the canon of a franchise or a storyline? Is it stifling creators in creating new content for said properties? What do you think?
Oh, dude, I'm a big fan of like canon stuff.
Yeah.
But like, if a story's good, a story's good, man. Like, all right, like for example, you watch Rick and Morty stuff. If any of that stuff weren't canon, I'd be okay with it. Is it what is it, like an anthology or something like that?
Yeah.
It was the opposite of canon. And I'm a big fan of stuff like that. I guess like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. People need to go back to those years where anthology was, great story.
But what about the lore, SqueezyBits? What about the lore of properties that span decades and generations? Should new creators be able to ignore the history of a character as a franchise of a reality just to tell what they consider to be a good story?
I don't know. That's a little too detailed for me. I mean, like, isn't the Bible like that's all canon? You're gonna talk about stuff that's the most canon thing of everything. I mean, yeah, there's a time and place for everything. If the story requires canon, that's great, but tell a good story, and I don't care if everybody's related and if like, oh, this is the who's cousin of what.
So you're more concerned with a good story, a good standalone story maybe, than how it fits into the broader world that it may be representing.
Yeah. For example, if you look at who's Tarantino, there's a whole like story, like every character is supposedly related to each other, but every story for Tarantino movies, they're all individual. But like if you ever watch or if you ever read some of his interviews and stuff, like they actually bring up like, oh yeah, this person's actually related to this person and this person's related to another person. I'm okay with canon, and I'm okay.
I think your example more closely references
referential.
Yeah. What does he call his universe? Kevin Smith's universe.
Oh, the View Askew verse.
Yeah, the View Askew verse, which is Yeah, it's a universe, but they're all individual stories that barely, if ever, um, refer to each other. Maybe some characters cross over here and there.
I
So
mean, but the thing is that when he does it differently than everybody else in that aspect because he gives homage to the to the other movies, whereas he doesn't directly derive from them, but he more like he'll mention like like remember like that one time on that one movie that thing happened, and then moves on.
Even characters that are consistently in different movies as similar characters have completely different stories in each movie in funky ways, like Brody from Mallrats. He plays Brody every time he appears, except for I think Clerks 2, where he was the guy that did MadDuckets.com or some shit. But anyway, like that doesn't really follow canon. I mean, Kevin Smith himself says he doesn't give a shit about canon. It's all about what's funny in that movie. Quentin doesn't really have a canon throughout his movies. A better example, though, would be Kill Bill 1 and 2. If we now get a Kill Bill 3, and in Kill Bill 3, the girl that's coming back to kill the bride is actually, a 7-foot tall
Asian woman.
Yeah.
That's hot. I like that. Sorry,
I was gonna say a 7-foot tall Hispanic dude. That's breaking canon,
But Roz, that's a reimagining. So I mean,
would it be a reimagining? I mean, it is Quentin making his his 20-year later sequel. Jesus, it's been 20 years. I just want to point that out.
Great movie. Well, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys, the audience. Please, by all means, what do you think about canon? Is it killing our stories and how we value stories? Are we too rigid with timelines, or should we just enjoy it and move forward? Email us, geekbros@yahoo.com. This seriously, I would love to hear from you guys because it's interesting. It's an interesting question, and it's becoming something of a trending topic on YouTube and on. Let me do the Disney thing. Stop! You guys gotta stop typing when I'm talking. All right, so moving on to SqueezyBits Picks, and the man with the legend actually is here. He sent me 2 articles. So,
hey, actually, guys, would you mind if I did quick Garbanzo's Corner because I actually want to go eat dinner, and I do apologize. It's just that I just want to.
What do you want to do for? You want to do the Disney?
Yeah, that's all I needed.
Only if you do the SqueezyBits Picks afterwards too. It's only 2 minutes. It's quick.
I will gladly do that. Fine.
Okay, yes. So Garbanzo's Corner. Excuse me. Disney World sets reopening date. Garbanzo.
All right, so I am actually really excited. The Magic is coming back. They've already opened up Disney Springs, and looking like July 11th, Walt Disney World will be opening, and then following Monday on July 15th, the rest of the major parks will be opening. I believe that right now it's Epcot and Hollywood Studios. I do believe that Animal Kingdom is also opening on the 15th, but it has not been confirmed, at least not to the article that I read. I'm super stoked. I'm super excited. They're taking huge precautions. You have to wear a mask while in the park. You have to abide by the 6-foot thing. They're actually using square footage to decide how many people are allowed in the park, on the rides. How close can they be? Every single time is being sanitized down. So there's going to be queues that people are going to have to ride together, like families in pods. Okay.
That's going to be interesting. They require masks in the park outside. The heat. I'm really curious about what they're going to do about that, because I can see them having a rash of not heat strokes. What is it? Roz, what are you going to say? I can't hear you, Roz. I know, that's great. What? I love when this happens.
I was saying, great, fewer people, more for me to ride.
All right, so
so be outside selling the fans that spray water.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
Yeah. But actually, they will be providing masks for those who do not have them and who do not purchase. They're giving them away at the entrance. I'm not sure if they're going to be doing anything special for annual pass holders or anything like that. I don't know, like maybe a special Mickey mask. Maybe special Mickey mask or something. I don't know yet. We'll find out.
With little fans in it.
Instead of magnets, we get ones with little filters in it or something like that. I don't know. But there's still a lot going on. I'm still trying to put together my plans, because I need, right now things have been just kind of rough, and with everything going on, and I need a little magic in my life. Luckily, I have an amazing family and support system and friends, but that's
so I assume that you're considering going. Yes, when soon, shortly, maybe.
Yeah.
So, can I ask you a question? Why Disney and not the beach?
This is Disney. Dude.
Why do you feel like you're more comfortable going to Disney further away, and under the same, with the same risk, if not more, but not the beach, which is local? Because you did mention you weren't gonna go, so I'm curious. Is there a
Because
difference?
the thing is that because here's the thing, you go to those parks and you abide by their rules, or you get kicked out. At the beach, what they're gonna do? You start fights. People can see that. I've already seen those videos, and I'm not happy. And honestly,
That's right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry.
and
I don't mean to
and what I was also going to mention is that I also have I it's our happy place, man. It's a place where, like, with as all the negativity, it's like the memories I have attached to that park, to those places, to those things. Like, I need to sit down and watch the Muppet 3D.
That sounds like a big jar of hypocrisy to me.
No, I know. No, listen, you have to understand something. It means a lot to this man, because that is where our previous host got engaged, and that's a huge moment for Garbanzo. So that's the reason why that Magic Kingdom, means a lot to him.
It's also that family.
Engaged there too.
Who? Yes. Yes, I was being sarcastic.
Oh, my bad.
I was being sarcastic. I was trying to get a rise out of him, saying like, no,
okay.
No, you fucker. That's not what
That's all right. That's all right.
That's what he gets. All right, so let's quickly. I need to take another photo, guys. While since it's all fours before you get out of here. So
wait, no, he's gonna do SqueezyBits Picks too.
I know we still gotta take a picture, but I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget. So really quick, guys. Sorry, guys. We need to do this because it's required. All right,
Yo,
let's go.
I did my ish already, dude.
No more talking. Do it. Thank you. All right, so we're back. We are back. That's the fourth photo. Oh, we look good. Did you put this? All right, the all-seeing eye up. All right, so SqueezyBits Picks. SqueezyBits, as you're here, you're gonna hit it. Robert Downey Jr. drops Marvel for DC with Netflix show Sweet Tooth. What is that about, SqueezyBits?
Oh, damn, dude. I thought it was the video that I sent earlier.
You didn't send me a video. You sent me 2 links.
Oh, my goodness. I don't even know what
you sent me the article, bro.
Oh, this one's can you just share this one? I did this one just like right before the show. This one's 2 minutes, I promise.
Okay. Listen, SqueezyBits Picks. He sends me these. All right.
Oh man. Okay. We'll discuss that. No one sent me the outline. Someone.
But I didn't know that but you sent me the article. I assumed you read it before you sent it to me.
Oh, well, sorry. I'm about 2 white claws or 3 white claws deep.
Oh, that's right. All right, here we go. SqueezyBits. Got a handsome man right there.
There you go.
Hey guys, it's your boy SqueezyBits, and I guess I'm gonna be introducing myself and my own segment as SqueezyBit Pick. I don't know.
How close is too close?
So exciting. So a couple of weeks ago, Darthflex asked a question that really hit home. How do you come back to games that you haven't finished or haven't even started? Or some question in that form. So I too have a bunch of games that have been shelved harder than an R&B artist signed under Diddy's Bad Boy Records. So much dust I need Airborne to even start my PlayStation. Just kidding. I've been buying digital games because my kids are destroyers of media. Maybe digital dust? Yeah, digital dust. A digital dust collection. Digital dust. That's a thing. The list of games that I've flipped, finished, or beaten, I don't know any other ways to say it, but the list is so much shorter. Zelda Breath of the Wild, finished-ish, I guess. Final Fantasy VIII, I think I finished. And Grand Theft Auto 5, part before they sent out all the DLC and the extra stuff. And those are really the only games that I feel like I've actually finished. There is one game that I have most certainly finished to 100%, including the DLC.
Nier Automata.
The second time to completion. To completion. Even introduced it to my kids, and we're almost done with it.
Not Nier Automata.
2018 Game of the Year nominee, a PlayStation 4 exclusive, Marvel's Spider-Man. Was a bit of a surprise because Spider-Man games all have the same kind of formula. Dope costume, shoot webs, swing around New York, fight bad guys. There's always a honeymoon period right before the divorce with Spider-Man games. I guess it's a byproduct. character's popularity and underperforming game developing. But this game has that je ne sais quoi. The developers of the game have applied so much polish to it. Thank you, Insomniac. From the moment you swing out of Peter Parker's apartment window, you feel the refinement, and at that very moment, estoy enganchado. This game has such a flow and fluidity, everything from the swinging to the fight mechanics and the storytelling. If you haven't already played this game, totally check it out. Sorry, let me get to the point of this video. My question is, do you guys have a game that you keep coming back to even after you've already completed it? And juices.
You know, it makes me wonder. I've always wanted to ask you, what are you on when you when you're recording SqueezyBits?
It's a combination of alcohol and coffee.
Is that what it is?
True story.
So repeat your questions just so we all everybody, hears it again.
So basically, it's a game that I keep coming back to, and I just, for some reason, I can't let it go. I've finished it to 100%. I've finished everything on it, and I think it's the only game that I've ever done that to. And I'm wondering, do you guys have a game that has the same effect on you guys? Maybe we can start with
That is a good question. Okay. You're also. I can't hear you, Garbanzo. What'd you say? I still can't hear you. What happens to you guys' mics?
How about that? Sorry about that.
Good.
I apologize, Joe.
What is going on with you guys' mics when we're not speaking for a while?
I don't know. I apologize. One of the biggest games for me that actually I keep on going back to, and I've been going back to in this game for going on almost close to a decade, is actually Warframe. I think it's only because I put so much money and time into it. It's like I just don't want to stop. I feel guilty. But more recently, actually, I'm playing the Jedi Fallen Order again. I'm playing again for a secondary playthrough. But there's a couple games out there that I guess I always find myself going back to it. Like I've gone back to for nostalgia reasons, I guess, including games like Halo and just classic. Just I want to go and just experience that remembrance of that game over and over again. But there's a few of them for me.
Mr. Roz?
Yeah, like you said, there's a few. Everything from it used to be Morrowind that I'd go back to, but then kind of been doing that with Skyrim lately. Gosh, there's so many. The Halo series is a good jump. Star Ocean 2, a game for the PlayStation 1 that I loved. And, every couple years I'll pull my disc out and play a few hours I really like this game. And that's enough of that. Chrono Trigger, another game from 1,000 years ago.
Oh God! Yes.
Honestly, if I'm on a desert island and I have 10 games, that's the first 3 games. Chrono Trigger 3 times. But
Gears.
For me, it's Civilization 6 all day, every day. I will pump out my old PC laptop, which is the only place where it's installed because I don't have the CD anymore. And I will play that, and I'll play that thing for days and weeks and months over and over and over. Even the same game. I usually do the epic or the marathon, and I'll play it and I'll play it and I'll play it and I'll play it until I get bored, and then I'll put it away for a little bit. But that's the game. When I was thinking about it, well, who do I do that? And it clicked in my mind. Civilization 6 all the time, and I think I'm gonna play it tonight. But other than that,
old. It's not that old.
No. Well, yeah, it's 2016 it came out, so it's 4 years. So that's not that bad. Other than that, it would be like I mentioned, I think on a group chat, the Tenchi Muyo the game ROM. I'll go back to that every once in a while. And also, what actually got me into RPGs, Mario RPG. I'll play that ROM.
It's a great game.
That game is great. Those I'll go back to, but definitely Civilizations. If I had to choose one, Civilizations all day, every day. So. Yes, that is my answer. So SqueezyBits, did you say you didn't read those articles that you sent me, you little bastard?
No. No, I mean I really like the title. If you guys want to talk about it, it's really interesting how Robert Downey Jr. has pretty much evolved into Mr. Marvel. I don't know any bigger Marvel character now than that is Iron Man. And at
the same time, I think it kind of typecasted him because besides, I think Sherlock Holmes, anything else he's popped up in has
Dr. Dolittle
that did terrible. It bombed.
Don't care.
so
Still
bad.
awesome for
It
me.
bombed so bad that I think it brought him back to the table with Marvel. That's how
for way
bad.
cheaper.
For way cheaper. That's how bad, because he realizes it's not him, it's his character. And I think that was a very humbling experience for him. Is that so? The article comes from what is that? NME.
Enemy. Yeah.
Oh, Enemy. Enemy.com.
Ha
Oh, look at that. Robert Downey Jr. Has announced his next project, Netflix series Sweet Tooth. The show is adapted from DC Comics series of the same name by Jeff Lemire? This is an M. Looks like an N. Lemire, marking a leap from Iron Man actor from Marvel to DC. So, anybody know what Sweet Tooth is? I don't know what that's about. Never heard of it.
But sadly, gentlemen, I do have to bolt for tonight. It has been always an absolute pleasure for each to be with.
By all means, you sexy beast, give us your promotion.
All right, just for those who want to catch me on Instagram, it's BEANTKE278. Same on Twitter. Also on Facebook, I got Bronzo's Corner. And I love you all. Please be well. Please be safe. And, have fun.
I know that's right. Love the shirt,
Enjoy your dinner.
Be well.
Send a picture of the food.
So Sweet Tooth is a comic book that DC put out on the Vertigo imprint. They're more adult-oriented comics.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Lemire's comic is pretty interesting. I have the full run if you want to borrow it. It's a half human, half deer kid. That's
okay. All right.
Got a really... Man, it's such a good comic, too.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, I mean, I don't know. Do you like good things?
I do like good things.
Then I think you should borrow it and try it.
Okay. The Sweet Tooth. The sweetest things are worth waiting for. Susan and I are producing a Netflix original series, Sweet Tooth. So, okay, well...
Mad Max meets Bambi.
See, I think...
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Is it really?
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm just reading it.
Yeah.
I think like the most ironic thing is that he's directing like a DC movie.
Who is?
Like, I mean, I'm DC like Netflix thing, isn't it?
Oh,
like that's what the article's about.
Yeah, I mean, the article is clickbait because the way it sounds like, oh my God, he's leaving Iron Man and joining DC, and that's definitely not what it is at all. But that's why I was like, yeah, I want to, read this. I was like, oh wait, what is Sweet Tooth? So, but of course, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I might check it out because I've been surprised a lot lately with random shows that I read the article, like the feed and upload and the man in the high castle. These are things I just read the synopsis for and I said, why not play? So I'll check it out. Ross, you're gonna check it out, maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm definitely checking it.
I love it. We're gonna review it and see what happens. All right, the next article that SqueezyBits said that he didn't read. Crayola unveils new packs of crayons that reflect the world's skin tones. And I think this is definitely something that's happening. This is coming from this is an article of CNN.com.
Mm-hmm. No.
Why did you feel this was appropriate for SqueezyBits Picks on a Geek Bros podcast? What came out? What sparked your interest? Because there's so much right and wrong with this particular crayon box that I'm thinking about in my mind.
I mean, like that's the best part about it. I mean, like Crayola's being politically correct at this point. Because a couple of days ago, like my kid was like, he was really discovering like, oh, my classmate is brown and I'm my other classmate's white, and he says his color is peach. So I'm like, oh my goodness, how do I?
Hey, don't my son used to say that his skin tone was apricot, so it's all good. He did. He said he was apricot.
Oh, great. We're raising fruits.
Yes.
And that's how that's why I thought like this whole thing. In fact, I tried to order a box last night and they're on pre-order. You can actually order the older 8-pack on Amazon, the bigger crayons.
Really?
But I just thought like this was kind of, I mean, like if like the only politically correctness that I kind of like, because I like crayons. There's just something about opening a box of crayons and
finding which one is your skin tone.
Yes.
Could you imagine? I think I should order one of these, and the first time that the Geek Bros can get back together again, we should all hold up our individual crayons. I think that'd be hilarious.
Draw ourselves.
I think it's cool.
Do you? Do you really?
Of course, man, dude. For years, Crayola. What was it? They had peach used to be called flesh. It was the only skin tone they had. So you had to be white. That's the only color they had that was skin tone.
I mean,
Right. You're
So
right.
shit,
You can
yeah,
get away
more
with it.
representation. Like, absolutely. I don't see like the only person that would have a problem with this is somebody who's like a professional umbrage taker. Like, I want to be outraged, and this is the best I got.
I don't know. I just think that you're giving a box of colors to stating it's the colors of the world, and there are just so many awful people out there that can turn something that's genuinely cultural and diverse and uplifting, and can really turn this into something nasty. Like,
Let them be racist.
like I see this. I just see this becoming like a really nasty TikTok thing in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like that immediately when I thought that, I was like, ah, crap, the troll's gonna come out and they're gonna figure out how to turn something so nice and genuine into something, racially charged. So
that's a great way to know who is a racist, and then you can just like cut them out your life. It's really cool that way.
I mean, worst case scenario, they color like a black person in like Asian color crayon. Bruno Mars. I don't know. Like,
there you go.
I like it. I like it. We'll see. All right, so that's it for SqueezyBits Picks. SqueezyBits, next time you give me articles and you jump on the podcast, you read them and you report on them. All right.
I heard we just needed extra bodies, so I'm like, oh, dude, I need to jump on, man.
Oh, we do. No, listen, SqueezyBits, you're welcome to join anytime. The more the merrier. So whenever you're free, because I'm not going to remove your name from the Skype. It's going to ring all the time. Join in. And I tell everybody, even if you're running late, just pop on. You'd be surprised how we're like, oh my god, look who's popping on. So just
I don't always have my hair did though, so
that is why I wear the beanie that I got from J.J. Abrams allegedly in Chicago last year. So moving on to open mic, Star Wars' new era of storytelling has been delayed. This article comes from Gizmodo.com. StarWars.com has officially confirmed that its upcoming storytelling and publishing initiative, The High Republic, a series of interconnected novels, canon, and comics follows the Jedi Order in a period approximately 200 years before the events of Star Wars movies, has, due to general market delays. Sorry, what are you showing? I was wondering what that was. Oh, okay. I was like, what are you showing me? Because it was blinking out. I'm like, it's really long. That's what she said. Has been delayed due to general market delays and likely so many things right now. The unprecedented times is delaying it. Of course, the coronavirus and all that it's doing. It's being pushed back to January 2021. So it's supposed to kick off on August 25th this year, but that's a long delay. I guess they're not going to be pushing out any of that stuff. Originally, it was going to be the novels The Light of the Jedi and The Test of Courage were going to be released coming out, but I guess not. How do we feel about this? Because I personally, with the Mandalorian and the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars season 7, I was curious about this, and I was hopeful about this because technically it's still in canon or in lore, but it's so far removed from the original trilogy, the prequels, the sequel trilogy, anything like that time frame, that they had more wiggle room to play around with because there is no canon or established lore for that time. Outside of whatever's randomly mentioned here and there, and Legends doesn't count anymore. How do you guys feel with the delay, and do you think this is going to be good for future storytelling, give them more time to work on it, or it's just like nothing? I'm disappointed, basically, what I'm saying. Come on, Rise. Come on, Rise. Don't give that look.
I really wanted it to happen.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's nothing but delays, man. Like, hopefully it's like you were saying, more time for them to polish it.
And you know what? That's the only silver lining that I have is that more time.
Because I really like The Mandalorian, but it definitely could have used more polish.
Yes, true. It definitely did.
So, shit, give them more production time, please. Please.
Oh, God, please. SqueezyBits.
It really sucks that everything is delayed. Everyone's pretty much starting on 0 or like the 50% pause. And I was, the only thing that I actually related to in the Star Wars series is Solo and The Mandalorian, because at first it doesn't require you.
Solo the movie or the character?
Yeah, Solo the movie.
Ranger Solo. Right, gotcha.
I can't. The Mandalorian was great. Like, it's the only Star Wars thing that I'm like, oh my god, that was amazing. I can't wait till the next thing comes out. The other Star Wars stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, it's Star Wars. It's kind of cool. Star Wars. My kids love it.
You ever seen any of the Clone Wars?
Which one's that? No, yeah, no, but I was actually.
That's what he did.
I'm sorry, but no, it's terrible that everything pretty much got paused, and if I can't wait for the next Mandalorian or season 2 or whatever. I pre-ordered
the end of this year, so I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I pre-ordered one of those baby Yodas. I don't know. I might be the most terrible Star Wars fan ever, but hey, that's Mandalorian.
I want one. I want a baby Yoda, but I completely forget to pre-order mine. Oh well, I'll just wait. I have time. Thanks for reminding me. But yeah, so let's see. Let's hope. I mean, is there any? I guess I'll ask Roz. Anything that you hope will be discussed, revealed? I personally hope they don't touch Yoda at all. That's just me. But is there anything that you hope that they would?
I'm pretty sure they won't touch Yoda because, oh gosh, that's all I was gonna. I was gonna agree with you. Yeah, I hope they don't.
Because the thing is that at 200 years he'd be what? 600, 400? I don't know. Whatever it is.
He'd still be in his later years.
He'd be a knight, so and I just don't want them to be like, this is a great excuse for us to bring Yoda out and explain some of him or put him on other adventures.
Let's make more CGIs of him backflipping around.
Yeah, or figure out how to do it practically, like they kind of did in in Dark Crystal. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? So I hope they don't touch Yoda. Leave him alone. You can mention him. Oh, this is a great Jedi out there. He's really great. He's the chosen one. Yoda. He's over there. But please don't leave him alone. He's. I think the more you explain him, and that's why I really hope that Baby Yoda has absolutely nothing to do with Yoda in any way, shape, or form. Just his species. And I actually really hope that my what is it? My prediction is true that the Yoda species only come in pairs, and there are versions of the Force. The Force wills them into existence every once in a while when one dies. I'd love it if it was something like that. They're actually a manifestation of the Force.
Okay, okay, I see where you're going. Because the Mandalorian is looking for Yaddle, is what you're saying.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the Mandalorian is looking for somebody to train this. But I personally believe though that the Yoda species, because they're so enigmatic, you've only ever seen two, and the other one was a woman. So the theory is that there's only two at any given time in the universe, and that they are force sensitive, they're highly force sensitive, they're highly gifted, and they're put into the universe to either balance things or upset things, or at least find some kind of. They have a purpose, but they'll just appear sporadically somewhere, kind of thing. I believe they're literally just manifestations of Force, kind of like what Anakin was. But that's just me, and I'm really hoping that's what all it is. Is that he's not Yoda's child. He's not related to Yoda in any way. He literally is, Yoda's species, and this species are a manifestation of the Force that needs to put this particular thing in the universe every couple of generations or whatever, just for whatever, as a presence for all I care. But other than that, anything else in the High Republic that you hope that they would tackle? I don't know much about that time frame, so I don't know what I'd want them to. But the thing is, though, is that wasn't there supposed to be peace? So you can't go too crazy with the High Republic, because the biggest real big war that they were discussing was the Clone Wars. And I think, didn't Palpatine say there hasn't been a war in 1,000 years, 1,000 generations since this, like a large scale war?
We talked about this. Canon. It doesn't matter. They're just going to change it to what they need.
Right, but they just said it right here. They said it right here, canonical, and it's supposed to be overarching. So hopefully, but yeah, you're right. I am one of those man babies. I do believe in canon. I hope they don't mess with canon. So we're gonna drop this and move on to Skyrim Grandma is taking a break because of internet assholes. Article comes from Kotaku.com. I just found it really funny to me. Skyrim Grandma, also aka Shirley Curry, is one of the most pure, honest, and wholesome video game streamers around. It is absolutely heartbreaking to learn that she's had to make a new video specifically for those who cannot stop upsetting her. In a video posted earlier this month, but only gained traction over the weekend, which is part of the problem we're getting at the moment, Curry explains that she's tired of constantly being on the receiving end of comments that range from irritating to hurtful. Quote, "I know I shouldn't let these things stress me out, but they do." She says, "From now on, I will respond very, very few comments. I will be deleting a lot of comments." And an important thing to note here is that she's not going to be talking about openly abusive comments. Instead, it's largely comments where some asshole thinks she's they're being helpful, or instead they're mansplaining basically, and stuff like that. So she's gonna be taking a break because of slight, mild, and intense, trolling. And this is Roz, is what I'm talking about when it came to that whole box of crayons thing, is that there are just those people out there that ruin anything that's wholesome or good, and that gets them off. And here you are, you're pretty much, for lack of a better word, bullying, a sweet old lady who's a gamer because you're being yourself. So why are we doing this?
Why are we doing what?
Exactly. Being this way. No,
like, why are people assholes?
Exactly. Why does this have to be? And how does stuff like this make you feel?
Because there's a bunch of people out there that are fucking emotionally stunted that get a rise out of ruining other people's lives.
Right.
This old lady was just playing Skyrim, and there's a bunch of gatekeepers yelling at her saying, "Hey, you're playing it wrong. You should be doing this or this or that." So, but like you're saying, why? You just gotta move on, man. Because if you let these people and their negativity control you, then you'll never do anything. Because anything you ever do, you're gonna be like, shit, I wonder if someone's gonna troll me.
Can you agree that part of the charm, not the charm, part of the fun, I guess, of internet trolls being this way is getting a rise out of their targets? Would you say that that's part of it? And that
that's all of it.
That's all of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Out of the targets and out of those that will rise to the occasion to defend.
They absolutely enjoy when people break down or have emotional, situations, because they are being abusive verbally, and emotionally. So that's the best thing to do, is just ignore them. The more attention you give them, the more you feed them.
And it's funny.
Don't feed the fucking trolls.
That's what we tell, what I've told my sons. Not that they're being bullied, but they're friends that kind of, are mean spirits sometimes. And I say, listen, part of the fun of that they have is your reaction, your anger, your annoyance, your upset. But if you literally just looked at them and just looked at their face and walked away, there's nothing feeding it. There's nothing, giving them the satisfaction of continuing to do it. SqueezyBits, would you concur? You're why I need you more on this podcast? You're the only other one, except for Garbanzo in the future, who has offspring, who can commiserate with me. Could you agree on this fact?
Okay. With my kids, I really want to instill in them that it's okay that not everybody likes you. Like, it's a perfect thing. Like, this is what the world is. Like, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people that love you.
That's a good life lesson.
Yeah, like, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people that like you, and you're gonna have a whole bunch of people that don't like you. I actually have a friend. I don't actually have her carbon dating, to be exact, but she's like of the older generation. She's got like gray hair.
Is she Asian?
No.
Oh, carry on.
She might need some lubrication. She's super cool. She's like the dopest, like, older lady, and she plays games, and she knows for a fact that she's not very good at, like, she doesn't have the reflexes, but she has, patience and all that stuff. She knows like what she can contribute to the game. Look her up. She's on Steam. Her name gamer tag is Bamala, and she plays Ark and Eve Online. Those are pretty deep MMO type games, or yeah. I don't know exactly. Yeah.
Eve is no joke.
Yeah, but she runs, like, she has a server of her own, and she kicks, like, and because, like, our generation is very abrasive, I guess. Like, they just, because they can hide behind some, anonymity. I don't know how to. I decided to use that. Anonymity.
I love it. I love it.
They can say whatever they want, and she's realized this, so she's decided to start her own server. And if you want to join her on her server, she will kick you out if you're not, up to her standards. And she's super cool, because I joke around with her about being old and, kind of dusty. But she's like the coolest person ever. Yeah, she is the coolest person ever. Oh, is that her? I don't know.
No.
Sorry, my bad. Her real name is Penny. She's dope. She's like the dopest person ever. Like an older person gamer, kind of. She's got like a hunch and everything like that. And you wouldn't expect her to have her own server. But I would willingly. Where was I getting? Sorry. Yeah.
should trolls
after shamelessly promoting her? Yes.
Because like I know her, I would almost just jump on her server and just try to kick the trolls off myself. Like, you wouldn't. Like, she lets people know that, like, hey, I'm grandma, pretty much, and you're playing with this, and everybody that's on her server is like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna go protect grandma.
That's pretty good.
kind of cool.
So yeah, I mean, I just when I read things like these, when people, they react and they actually have to remove themselves from said social media or said, whatever it is, activity because of just bullshit people. I just wonder, like, what? I know your life must be miserable. There has to be some kind of misery within your life, but I know misery loves company. But does it really? Does it really? How does it help you? How does it make you feel better for a second? Because I'm telling you right now, I can't imagine going on Skyrim Grandma's server and calling her all kinds of stuff and then signing off and feeling fulfilled in my life. I don't see it. I don't see myself going outside and being cheery and saying, yes, good day's work. I feel great.
I think the psychoanalyzation of these dudes and their need to hurt other people is like way beyond the scope of us and what we're capable of here. Yes. But the takeaway literally is, the more you talk about them, the more of an audience you create for them, the more
power. You're right.
The more power you give them.
Feeding the system. Moving on. We're feeding the system.
Trolls.
Like that.
I mean, I think this is our generation of Ding Dong Dash.
No, way worse, man. This is our generation's spraying a swastika on the side of a synagogue.
Ooh, that's deep. Deep cut. Yeah, I would think that Ding Dong Dash is more of like a, innocent, jokey joke thing. Not, you don't necessarily need to hurt
not if you leave like a fiery bag of poop.
I knew you were going there. And moving forward, our final topic, which I found to be really funny. This is inspired by Elvis Duran on the morning show. I heard it this morning. What is spite porn? You guys have heard of it? Spite porn?
Yeah. Have you? Please.
Roz,
I'm very interested in this porn subject.
Roz, what is spite porn?
Somebody that pays a professional streamer or something like that to record like BDSM abusive dialogue for their ex.
Yeah, pretty much from what I understand is it's hiring a porn star or something like that to start doing a strip tease, and getting as close as possible. And once it starts to get really, really sexy, they say, "You're a piece of shit. This is what you did. You know who you are. This is coming from X, Y, and Z. This is to your ex," and it ruins it right at the sexiest part. And
when I heard that, niche.
I laughed so hard when I heard about that because I said that'd be brilliant as a joke, not necessarily to be hurtful, but as a joke, that'd be amazing. You had fantastic. So spite porn is a thing. I love it. SqueezyBits, what do you think?
So is this like going to a strip club and not having enough money for the happy ending part?
No, it's like going to strip club, paying for a lap dance, and just as you get half a chub, the the stripper turns to you and says, "You know what? You cheated on your girlfriend. You know she was great food she cooked for you. Okay, you never find anybody be like her again." And your chub slowly
asking into for you. A friend. Asking for a friend.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I heard about it on Elvis Duran in the morning show, and it tickled me beyond words. And I knew this would have been a great topic, especially for Darflex. I might have to bring it back because I know Darflex. I wanted to hear him specifically.
Oh, he's the friend I was asking for.
He's a connoisseur, of this kind of stuff. So I would love it to have heard what he had to say. But I think it's funny. I mean, as long as it's all good, clean family fun, I think it's hilarious. But for those who actually use it as a way to punish your ex or punish your current or whoever you're
ex would punish me with this.
I don't know. I think it'd be jarring because you're sitting there. You know what? It reminds me of this. It reminds me of. I mentioned TikTok only because my friend and other hosts, other podcasts, she sends me TikToks, though she won't let me download TikToks. And the new thing on TikTok is a guy will be sitting on a couch, unassuming, and a girl will come over. She'll bend down right in front of him, right between his crotch. Mm-hmm. She'll put her hair up in a tie. She'll reach over and get something, and then walk away. And the guy is left looking stupid. And I think it's hilarious as well. Those are great because one of them with the guy was like this. What? Ooh, oh, it was great. So that's what it kind of reminds me. But it's just family fun. So, any final thoughts, just before we wrap up today's episode? Come on, Roz.
I got nothing, baby.
I feel I like that. Roz, I got nothing, baby. SqueezyBits, final thoughts.
Can we talk some more about porn, please? No.
Yes, when Darflex is here, because that is his topic and we cannot not.
That was his topic.
No, that's not his topic. No, that's my.
That's his wheelhouse, man.
That's his thing. Like we can't talk about it without him there. So we're gonna bring it back up. So, but again, SqueezyBits, thanks for joining us, and you are welcome anytime. Just pop right in. Don't even type join because it throws me off. Just pop right in. And that's it for Keepin' Up with the Geek Bros, episode 99.6. As the second countdown to the 100 episode continues. We can't delay much longer, so we will have our unofficial 100 episode when it comes up, and then we'll have the official one probably next year whenever everybody can sit within 6 feet of each other without a mask on, because it muffles the mic. So, of course, you can check us out at Instagram and Twitter, just Geek Bros at a 0, GEKBRO0S, Geek Bros at a 0 at yahoo.com, Facebook.com/Geek Bros with a 0. That's where all the fun is, by the way. That's Darflex's playground. No, trust me, it is. Listen to us every Wednesday. WeBeGeeksPC.com, and watch the follow-up or the video recap, I don't know, days later, YouTube.com/Vibrant Studios. For now, look forward to the Geek Bros YouTube coming soon. Gents, Shemus promotions before we wrap up. Mr. Roz.
Just find me on Instagram, Ray Raziel.
SqueezyBits, who's got to be our fifth Geek Bro. Guy's got to just do it. He wants to do it. He knows he wants to do it. Tell us where to find you.
Search me on YouTube, SqueezyBits, SqueezyBits. I'm looking for whatever you guys want me to review.
Now it's one word, yes? It's
one word. Or one word. Thank you.
Yeah,
one word.
Yeah. If you search, you will find it. Like literally, he's the first one that pops up. I've done it.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would look up SqueezyBits. It's kind of weird.
You know what? It was weird for a while, and now I'm so used to it that my nipples, they tingle a little bit every time I say your name.
They get squeezies.
They get
squeezies.
They want to be squeezy. That's what they want to be. All right.
Speaking of porn.
It. You're right.
Is this fight porn? Is this where we're getting?
Well, that would be the interactive porn. That's when we get the full body suits and the VR goggles. That's gonna be totally different in the future. You don't talk about the Oasis. All right. So that's it from the Geek Bros. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, geeking out still sounds this good.
Keeping up with the Geek Bros.